Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Jim Coolman Insurance. Since 2003, focusing on auto, home, and life insurance. Contact Jim and his team at 541-753-2500 or online at jimcoolman.com. Capital Mortgage Source. Your trusted mortgage professional is just a click away. Call 541-829-8042 or capitalmortgagesource.com. Albany Area Habitat for Humanity is partnered with families, volunteers, donors, businesses, and community organizations to create safe, affordable housing. Albany Area HFH.org. James Reed Agency, specializing in comprehensive coverage for nonprofits, ministries, small businesses, and personal lines of coverage across the Northwest. JamesReedAgency.com or call 503-588-8229. And now let's get on with the show. Dun, dun, dun.
We're here.
We are.
Yes, we are on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're here every week, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, here for your viewing and listening pleasure. This also covers to audio podcasts. We'd love for you, wherever you like, listen, to share, to comment, to engage today. And thank you so much for that.
You know, it's always great to hang out with you, Russ, every Monday on The Experience Local and here on Wednesdays on The Experience. We've got Eric Zajac today as a guest. And, you know, we often talk about isolation is the killer, that we can't go through life alone. We need people around us. And as people know that watch The Experience, that watch Russ and Scott on our other shows, we're big fans of coaching. And we're gonna learn more about that today.
Yeah, you know, I am so blessed. Eric's such an amazing guy, and like you always say, we have the most remarkable guests. I had people actually sending me so many guests and awesome people like Eric that the other day I had to the last couple of weeks, I've just put a halt on guests because we have so many amazing people, Scott, so many great friends. And looking forward to what Eric has to say today.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to remind people that, and I can't find the banners, and so I'll just let people know that as everyone knows, Russ is going through a cancer journey, and there are many things that happen in that process. Some of them due to the disease, some of them due to the medication. And this morning, I am running two computers, so I'm coming to you on one computer, and I'm also running the show on a separate computer. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between those. But this is the reason why we need each other. Trying to do things by yourself is really hard. You need those support. And so yes. I'm here in Waco. Russ is in Oregon, and we've been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah, I tell you, we are so blessed. I'm so blessed by you, Scott, and we are better together. Woke up with some crazy things going on with me this morning and unable to actually do the producing. And Scott is taking over, like he said, and that is where we lift each other up. You know, we're able to help each other out, and that's a blessing. Scott, you got some really important and great things going on starting Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so I'll be flying out today. Actually, a friend of mine is going to drive me to the Austin airport. I'll be flying to Portland, Oregon. And then my wife's sister is going to pick me up and drive me down to my friend's place in Albany, where I'll be staying for a few days. On Saturday, we have the celebration of life for my wife. Christine A. Smith passed away on May 5th. Very sudden and unexpected. Hers was a very rare cancer that was in her intestines. The symptoms really didn't manifest until it was too late in many cases. And so from the time that I took her into the emergency room until she passed, it was 3 weeks. So a very, very quick time. But we had a celebration here in Texas on the 23rd of May. And people can go to agingbetternetwork.com and watch replays of that one. And also, we're going to be live streaming the one on YouTube from First Baptist Church in Salem, Oregon, for anyone that would like to participate or watch the replay on that as well. agingbetternetwork.com, all the details.
Well, Scott, it goes without saying, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you in person. Even though we get to see each other here every week, I never pass up a chance to get a big hug from Scott and just be able to talk to you for a few moments. And I know it's going to be busy with you coming back and getting a lot done and getting ready for this, but I do want to thank you for placing the celebration of life in my backyard, like 5 minutes from my house.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great to see you. These are a reunion time, and so I'll see family. We'll see a lot of friends, and I just appreciate the encouragement. My daughter is doing all the arrangements for the one here in Salem and putting together the whole program, and I'm very proud of Bethany Thurman for stepping forward and doing that. Very difficult time, but an important time. I'm also going to be going next week. I'll be going to Sedona for the rest of June. Anyone in Northern Arizona, look me up. I'd love to see you there in the red and white rocked Sedona.
There you go. There you go. Well, Scott, you know what? So many amazing things going on, even through tragedy and struggle. You know, God's always lifted us up as we connect and build community together. You know, God meant us for community. And I'm just so thankful for you and Eric this morning. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So I think we should go ahead and
bring him in.
Get Eric in the room. Morning, Eric.
Morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Using the broad term of broad definition of gentleman. I appreciate that.
I've talked to Russ a few times, and he's been nothing but cordial and what a gentleman does. And Scott, you and I have talked, I think, once before.
Yeah, we've had a chance. So let's get right into it. You know, we mentioned that isolation is the killer, that we are big fans of coaches, that everyone should have a coach and coaches should have coaches because, you know, it goes back to who does the president's analyst speak to? So tell us what's going on, Eric, in your world.
I really appreciate that intro, but before I do, let me just kind of heap some praise on both you two, right? Scott, I'm very sorry to hear about your loss, and
thank you.
Your family and you will be in my hearts and prayers as you're working through this grief. That's a heavy burden to bear. And Russ, I single-handedly now seeing kind of what you're going through this morning and the ability that you two just had in the last 10 minutes observing from backstage to Scott, you held space for Russ and just in a nice, calm way, persevered through all the difficulties that Russ was having this morning and held space for Russ so that he knows that he has a partner that he can work with.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Not very kind. Like, I'm seeing it with my eyes, and I'm just telling you guys it's beautiful. Right? And essentially, that's exactly what a coach does for their client. Right? We hold space. We listen with active ears. Right? When we're having a conversation with someone, we're fully present. And to bring back to one of your comments, Scott, about how coaches need coaches, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't be anywhere I am without the fine coaches I've had throughout the years. So, yeah, I can tell you, just having somebody to be able to hold space for you, to listen to what you're saying, because oftentimes we can't hear the words that we're saying until they're reflected back to us. And essentially that's what a really good coach does, is they listen for how you're constructing your world through the words that you're using. And then sometimes just as a client being able to hear back the unintelligence that I'm saying, and I'm not talking about dumb or stupid here, right? I'm going to take it back to compare this to intelligence, the intelligence of a flock of birds being guided, right? A school of fish finding their way to go mate in the middle of like the night on the shores of San Juan Capistrano. How many times did you have to remind yourself to breathe today, or your heart to beat? You didn't know, because intelligence, the universe has that, right? And so any thoughts that are outside of that natural intelligence, that's what I'm calling unintelligence. And when we're caught up in unintelligent thoughts, that's where we get stuck.
Well, listen, Eric, I'm sorry I'm a little slow here. I love what you're saying, because we are definitely better together. And when we come together, we can accomplish so much more. We lift each other up in the middle of challenges, and just like Scott, holding space when we just really need help, but also just encouraging one another, right? This is how we move forward positively when we have that encouragement of people alongside us. Like Scott's always saying, isolation is not a good thing ever. Now, we all need some alone time, sure, but that's not isolation. But being together and lifting each other up, and even the small little ways, is so important. So, and coaches are so valuable because we have so many blind spots. So talk about that. When you meet with people, they come to you and there's obvious things to you, but they don't see it. How do you kind of work through that?
Yes. So as I mentioned, right, a lot of times through active listening and a conversation, right, conversation with the client. And through that, I'm listening for how this person is constructing their world, right, through the words that they're using, right? And I'm listening for what I call the lie, right? Maybe it's they heard, growing up, money is hard to make. And as a result of hearing that over and over and over from the people that were their caretakers in life, they formed a belief that money's hard to make. Now, fast forward that a few years to maybe that same person wants to start a business, but yet they still have this belief that money's hard to make. So everything that they think, they feel, they act upon, and the results they get in their life is all going to be starting from that filter of money is hard to make, right? So maybe they have a bad quarter, and what's the default going to be is money's hard to make, right? And then it starts that vicious loop through our beliefs determine the thoughts that we think on a moment by moment basis. The thoughts that we think determine the feelings and emotions that we have. Those emotions and feelings, they become the actions we take. The actions become the results that we get in life. And the results we get reinforce the beliefs.
I love this. I want to, Eric, I want to ask you a two-part question. One of them is, give us a brief overview of your journey into being a coach. And then tell us some of the signs that somebody might experience that says, you know what, I need to reach out to Eric.
Great question, Scott. So my journey started years ago when my youngest daughter was first born. I have an IT background, Navy before, United States Navy before that. And what was happening was, as my daughter was coming into this world and my wife and I were figuring out how to be parents, the whole, oh my God, I've got another life to maintain and help. And, growing up in the 80s, I had lots of stuff that I had held on to and pushed down. and I started developing back pain, back and sciatic pain. Looked for relief, and there was no real physical reason for the pain. And I found the work of Dr. John Sarno. And if anyone who doesn't know who Dr. John Sarno is, I highly recommend looking him up. But what Dr. John Sarno found was that we repress emotions. And as we repress emotions so much, there's only so much water a container can hold. And when it gets to a point, that water flows over the top of the container. Essentially, as we repress those emotions down, 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 we run out of space in the container, and it manifests as physical pain in the body. And through this understanding and learning how to release those emotions and repressed memories, the back pain started getting better and better. Not through procedure, not through pain medicine, just through simple understanding and release. Fast forward that a couple of years later, and it's the pandemic, and I'm looking for stress relief because every news report I'm seeing is either you're going to catch a cold or you're going to die. There was like no in between at the time. So I found the work of Grace Smith, who's a hypnotherapist, and I learned the foundations of self-hypnosis. And I applied these into my life and started getting immediate stress reduction during one of the craziest times that I can remember in our lives, which was great. And then fast forward that again, and it's a couple years later, and my oldest daughter, the one when I started developing back pain when she was first born, 18, she's starting college, and then she starts developing chronic pain. We take her to doctors, no relief. And what I did was I went back to Grace Smith, who has a hypnotherapy academy, and I got certified through her teachings to be as a certified hypnotherapist. And then a year later, I found the work of David Bayer, and I learned transformational mindset and started layering on the concepts between the two and blending the two together. It's been a world of change for my daughter. Each session, she got better and better. And as a result of watching my daughter get better and better, I realized I could be helping more people as well and having an impact on the world, helping people release their limitations as well. So,
well, Eric, I just want to say you're doing amazing things, and I just appreciate your approach to everything, and how you're looking at helping people and the heart that you have. Before you did coaching, give us a little background on. You told us a few things, but a little bit more background on what you were doing before coaching and how you got into that.
So I've worked in all levels of information technology, from the person who picks up the phone call, providing support, to going out to customer locations to provide support on site, then getting into corporate IT and working my way all the way up to architecture within that world, right? So it's a lot of small mom and pop shops all the way to Fortune 100 companies.
And you were talking about some of those signs too that people would look for and say, man, I need to reach out to Eric. You talked about there's some physical pain they had no cause, just stress in general. So who would call you? What's going on in their world?
The clients I tend to have the best success with are the ones that have tried other things, right? Maybe they've tried just a life coach. Maybe they've gone to physical therapy. Maybe they've, tried hypnosis on their own, right? And, each thing may have had some relief, but it's been surface level. Through my mindset methodologies, I'm able to help people guide right into the root of their problem And then when they have direct access to their subconscious and able to see, identify that limitation and dissolve it right there on site, the change becomes permanent and fast, because you're dealing with the root problem at that point.
I think we deal so much with Band-Aids, putting things on symptoms and things that come out of the root problem, but so often not. I'm just currently on even a more healthy eating program. And the whole idea is dealing with the root issues in my body, right? Taking better care of my body, my immune system, doing things that God put on this earth for us to help ourselves be healthier, right? And I think dealing with those root causes is always better than just continually to put on Band-Aids. And I think that's what our society does, right, Eric? We just slap Band-Aids on problems, but don't really solve the root issue.
I see that quite often, Russ, right? And to bring it back to your point, this is such an intelligent system. If there's something out there that can go wrong with your body, there's something within nature that can bring you back to health, right? Otherwise, God wouldn't have created that problem to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, it turns out we're not alien to this planet. everything we need is here. We just have to find it or get back to it.
Exactly.
So let's talk about what it looks like to work with you, Eric. So someone says, you know what, I've got these limitations, whether it's financial, relationships, self-image, and they reach out to you. What's it look like? Weekly, monthly, group, individuals? And do you run like camps or program? Anyway, tell us about what it's like to work with Eric.
Great question. Thanks you, Scott. So the work I do with people, I have a couple of different containers available. I'm going to be starting up what I call the Transformational Mindset Collective at the end of June. It's going to meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's free to join. There's no cost right now anyways to join the collective. Imagine that you're coming in and 1 month, you might learn how to do self-hypnosis. And that's what we're going to do on June 25th. Is I'm going to teach people how to use self-hypnosis for their own benefit. Like really returning the favor that I got from Grace Smith on how to use self-hypnosis during the pandemic. The month after that, we're probably going to get into beliefs and the power of decision around beliefs. And then each month, there'll be potentially personal support with the whole community there to be able to virtually hold hands across that collective. The next layer up from that, I call the Rapid Recode. And that's a 4-week pure hypnosis container. We're meeting once a week. And in that 4 weeks, we pick one area of your life. Maybe it's finances, relationships, your career. Really, it's all very personal to the person on what they want to achieve. And over the course of 4 weeks, we will get you from where you are, understand the desire you have for that area of your life, and get you to that point.
And I'm just thinking that, sometimes we just don't even know what question to ask, right? Mm-hmm. And so, talk about these things like finance and relationships and the different items, different areas. But maybe we think one is the area, but it's really not. Could I sit down with you and go through get into this program and have you help me identify what it is that's causing me this turmoil?
Yes, I offer a 30-minute complimentary, what I call a clarity call. So during that time, we'll sit down. It's just a matter of understanding who each other are, right? We get to know, like, and trust each other through that 30 minutes. Mm. And what I'm doing is I'm listening to the different areas of that person's life, what's important for them, where they want to be. And then we can identify what that one area is for you. And then potentially even understand what that limitation is that's keeping you in the current state from getting to that where you want to be.
Yeah, well, Eric, I tell you, amazing information. We could keep talking for another hour, but having to be the responsible host, I just wanted to lead us through the ending of the show, and really would love to hear your golden nugget of the day. And that's, what out of this conversation do you really want people to remember? And please give us how to get in touch with you, because, you know, I'm telling you, listening to you, I already want to reach out. So let us know what we can do, how we can get to you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Russ. So if you're going to take one thing away from this call, just know you don't need to hold on to these limitations. Like, it's all programming at the end of the day within us, right? We can change it, right? And a good coach is just nothing but someone there to hold your hand through it all, right? Just like you and Scott did today, where Scott held that space for you and was able to see a friend in need and being able to step up and help him, you know, help you through what you were going through this morning, Russ. So if you're looking for any kind of support, just even start out with that complimentary clarity call. Just go out to my website, www.easylivingcoaching.com. That's E-Z, the letter Z, Livin coaching.com. There's a button right there to book the clarity call. And then there's more information about the different services that I offer, whether it's that collective, the 4-week rapid recode, and then there's information on my one-on-one coaching, which is more long-term.
Scott?
Well, that's just fabulous, Eric. And as always, the links are clickable in the comments in the show notes. This is available on LinkedIn and Facebook, YouTube, podcast, all those different places, so people can rewatch this, get some valuable information. Eric, you shared so much today. I loved hearing your background about how you came into this and took what made a benefit for you and are now reflecting that back for other folks.
Thank you, Scott.
So we're going to say goodbye to you today, but stay into the green room for a moment, and we'll be right back with you as we wrap things up.
Appreciate the time, gentlemen.
Thanks, Eric.
Well, Mr. Hedge.
Well, Mr. Scott, I tell you, craziness. But you know what? We serve a big God, and we're still moving forward. And I love what Eric has to say today.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you know, he's really meeting people where they are, helping them and in a positive way. And we all need a good coach. We all need mentors. I've got wonderful people like D. Scott Smith in my life who keep me grounded and on the right track. So thank you.
You know, it's always good. So people don't get to see this, but, you know, we talk before and after the show, and it's always good. You know, a couple times a week we get together. We're checking with each other through text messages, through phone calls, through emails, you know, and I have some other folks that I'm in contact with every week. And if you don't have that in your life, make sure you add that today. And maybe you want to go to easylivingcoaching.com and hit that clarity call and spend the 30 minutes with Eric. And it's not going to cost you anything except that time, but I guarantee you that you're going to have better perspective and insight on yourself. Maybe you're going to work with Eric and join his group. That's a free group to join as well. Maybe you're going to say, you know what, I need to make an investment in my life. You know, we spend tens of thousands of dollars on a college education, but we hesitate to spend hundreds or thousands on our own improvement later in our lives. Don't make that mistake. Make the investment in yourself.
Yeah, and people like Eric, Scott, that are willing to talk with you and then willing to have groups to give you free value. I just can't encourage people enough to check that out, because if you want to know it's for you, he's not trying to charge you a bunch of money up front. He's trying to give you value, show you what he can do. And then if it works for you, that's great. You know, one size does not fit all, and we do not all work with the same coach or the same type of people. There's different flavors that everybody needs. And so I highly encourage you, click on the links and go to Eric and talk to him. Hey, life is worth a conversation every day. Meet amazing people like Eric. And while you're at it, join our YouTube page. Go to the experience, local.theexperience.video, and you can read all about Scott and I, but also you can jump to our YouTube page and see not only Eric again and the people, amazing people in the comments, but you can also see the other going on thousands of amazing guests we've had that have great value for you too. Right, Scott?
Absolutely. And with that, Russ, take care of yourself. Be well. I look forward to seeing you in just a day or so. And to everyone out there, thank you for your support, prayers, and encouragement. I tell you what, I am living on the prayers of the saints from around the world. And Russ is doing the same. No one needs to live life on their own. We need each other. So thank you so much. Thank you for our friends like Leanna and Cami out there commenting today. And with that, Russ, we'll see you soon.
All right. See you, everybody. Enjoy your experience of life. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.